Hey, good morning. It's about time. It's about time I go live. Jeez. It is almost 10 o'clock. What's up? Happy Sunday. Got my Bears orange on. We call this in my neck of the woods Blaze Orange. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Jason, what is up? He's got the coffee ready. I'm going to say some. My computer, my camera's looks way off today. Not very good. Not very good. And I'm going to tell you why. Nope, still not very good. And I even let it run. Camera's a little off. I think I bumped it this morning. So I did something. That I don't think I've ever done. And I talked yesterday morning about my trip to the grocery store on Friday. And remember, I was hungry. My mind was scrambled when I went to the grocery store on Friday because I was buying junk food and I bought some creamer. And so creamer is I have to have creamer in my coffee. And I always switch it up. I go from, French vanilla to hazelnut, amaretto, which for some reason amaretto is kind of, at least in my grocery store, it's not surprising, I guess. I'll go with Irish cream, not Bailey's. I see Jason has some Bailey's in his. Sometimes I'll get like the real fancy stuff that's like cinnamon, like it's like 7 words, some type of cinnamon roll. But I did something in the coffee in the creamer aisle that I've never done before. It's September and I grabbed the pumpkin spice. I don't think I've ever done that before, but I was in a weird mindset Friday at the grocery store. And it doesn't taste that good. Why is pumpkin spice a thing? I don't get it. I love pumpkin pie. I absolutely love pumpkin pie. I love it in November at Thanksgiving, and maybe give me some pumpkin pie at Christmas. But in like June, but I guess we don't really have pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice is like a September, October thing. Why is it a thing? It's like, it's okay, but why is it like Shark Week? Everybody loves Shark Week. Why? How come there's not Snake Week? Snakes are more, I think snakes are like they crawl around and they sneak up on you and you scream like a little girl. At least I do. Shark Week's a thing. And why did that become a thing? Why did pumpkin spice become a thing? I don't get it. And this pumpkin spice, and it's not a flavored coffee. I thought, okay, I don't want to get pumpkin spice creamer if I have an already flavored coffee. Like if I like peanut butter crunch from Door County Coffee along with pumpkin spice would probably be nasty. But this is just regular coffee. This is just Dunkin' Donuts, the giant like 7-gallon bucket that I buy at Costco that I'm going to be still drinking. I drink a lot of coffee, so it'll probably only last me a couple months. But this is just a regular coffee with pumpkin spice, and pumpkin spice is like, eh. Anyway, that's my pumpkin spice kick. I'm not hating on pumpkin spice. I just don't know why it's a thing. Why is it so popular? And I have the same question for Shark Week. Why is Shark Week so popular? Rich, Uncle Rich, good morning. I know I am super late this morning, and I'll tell you why. Actually, a good time as I can't do any work right now while I'm at work. System being worked on. Hey, perfect. I did it for you. I am late this morning because I just didn't want to get out of bed. And it's not because I'm hungover. Was it last Sunday? I think I was hungover. This Sunday, I'm not. I had 2 beers last night, and when as I was watching the Washington-Michigan State game, which I can talk a little bit about college football Saturday. I watched a lot of college. I didn't watch any college football until like 2:00, but then from like 2 to 10, that's all I watched. So I couldn't sleep last night. I couldn't sleep. I went to bed around the normal time, maybe a little later than normal, a little after 10 o'clock my time. I turned on Friends, and that's kind of like what I fall asleep to. And when my wife comes into bed, she turns it to like the Golden Girls. She turned it to Saturday Night Live though last night, and it was a rerun though. And I don't know if I was tossing and turning, but it was like whatever time it was around Weekend Update. So what's that? That comes on at what, 11? It's like within the first half hour, 40 minutes of the show. And my wife finally just goes, "You can't sleep, can you?" And I'm like, "How'd you know?" And she's like, "Well, I've slept with you for 8 years, and I can tell when you're having trouble falling asleep." So then I watched Saturday Night Live, and that like put me to sleep. And I love Saturday Night Live, but I get up and I'm watching Saturday Night Live, and before I know it, I'm asleep. I don't think I got through the entire episode, but I fell asleep. And then I got up this morning, and I think it was like 5 a.m. when I woke up, which is typically around the time I wake up during the week. And I didn't know what day it was. It's like, oh crap, it's Monday. I got to be on at 7. So like during the week, I'm on like 7 a.m. I've got to be on at 7 a.m. That's like when I report to work. Keeps me on my game. But Saturday and Sunday, it's like, screw it. I'll go on at 9:30 if I want to. I'm going to lay in bed and just scroll Twitter and Facebook all morning. But it's like, I'm kind of tired. It's Sunday. I'm going to go back to bed. And I did. And then I woke up at like 7. It's like, I should probably get up. And I'm like, it's only 7. It's Sunday. Yeah, I went back to bed. And then I got up and I just, Uncle Rich sent me a message. And I'm like, yeah, I should probably get around and start moving around. Somebody else, a little bit special, shout out, was on Twitter asking when I was going to go on. I'm like, okay, I should probably push myself to get out of bed, throw my sweatpants and Bears hoodie on, and get to work. Literally get to work, because I've got some shipments. I've got I still have to finish my tax stuff. And some other things to work on. I've got card show prep that I'm still dragging my feet getting next week's lineup and everything situated for that. So usually I'm ahead of the game on that, and this time around I'm not. Royals 417, good morning. Jason added some Baileys to the coffee. Cooter, good morning from the porch swing. A little front porch sitting where I come from. Let's see. Fall Creek Collectibles, good morning to you. Let's have a bot-free Sunday. Low Rollers, he's going through my eBay store. Bear Hoodie Day, absolutely. It's a big game. It's a night game, which I don't like Sunday night games. I don't like Monday night games, and I don't like Thursday night games. Give me noon and 3 o'clock kickoffs on Sundays. So I don't like the Sunday night games when the Bears play, because then I have to like make it a point to watch Sunday night football, which it's like Sunday night. I just want to like lay on the couch. We are couch people. I just want to lay on the couch and watch like mindless TV or something on Netflix. I don't want to watch football on Sunday nights. And it's like, I like a good noon, like during the day on Sunday. I like watching football. And if I'm not playing fantasy football this year, so I really don't have a reason to watch the games. I guess I could watch for like football card standpoint, like, ooh, who's going off for a couple touchdowns and some rushing yards today. Or what quarterback got hurt and who's the backup and which cards do I need to dig out? Stuff like that. Let's see. Rich says that makes one of us boy on the pumpkin pie. But food talk is the real purpose of this chat, so keep talking about those pumpkins. Terry's in the house. Terry bought a Goodwill Pallet recently, and he pulled some good stuff. Rich says it's the great pumpkin spice Charlie Brown, and as long as Bo does not mention 69 will probably be safe from the bots. There we go. Trigger alert. Sex bots are coming. Cooter says, just wait until Topps comes out with a pumpkin spice parallel. It's coming. It's coming. Speaking of Topps, I think we're 2.5 days into Topps Chrome. I still think none of the short prints or super short print rookies of Julio and Bobby and Hunter Green and there's 2 others have not surfaced. CJ Abrams and I think I might be able to nail all 5 of them. Who's the 5th? I can't remember the 5th. I don't think any have surfaced to this point. So it could be a case of the 2016 Allen and Ginter Wood minis. MIA forever. Let's see. Ken says, was going to watch, but wife was starting to make our breakfast, but now I must head out in search of tomatoes. Well, have fun at the grocery store. Hopefully your trip is more fruitful. No pun intended. Tomatoes and fruit is more fruitful than my Friday trip to the grocery store. Terry McDaniel's in the house. Let's see. Low Roller says, did you buy the new Goodwill Pallet today? This is the same Goodwill Pallet as the WNBA card. So this is just the same palette that I have not finished going through. Jason says, that was me on Twitter. Rare I get to listen live, so I was getting worried. Excellent. Awesome. So Jason is a little bit special. Low Roller says, you can list more Cooper Rush football cards. So let's speak of football. I was watching some college football, lots of college football yesterday. I turned it on to around 1 or 1:30, a little earlier. I wanted to watch the 2. There were a couple 2:30 kickoff games that I was interested in. Number 1, my Wisconsin Badgers, and let's see, Penn State and Auburn, which normally I couldn't care less about the Nittany Lions or the Tigers of Auburn, but I wanted to follow and see the stats of Penn State quarterback Sean Clifford because I pulled a couple of low serial numbered autographs from my case of Bowman U football. So I wanted to see how he fared. And of course, the Badgers. The Badgers have three players in Bowman U, quarterback Graham Mertz, running back Braylon Allen, and wide receiver Chamir DK. So the Badgers were on. Let's talk about Wisconsin football. They took on New Mexico State. The Badgers, Wisconsin, was a 47-point favorite against New Mexico State yesterday, and they won handily. They actually covered. What was the final score? 66-7. Now, before the game, I had a couple people reach out to me saying they had tickets, and I'm like, nah, I'm just going to watch it on TV. And one of my friends, I said, you're going to be in for an offensive show, and my prediction is Braylon Allen comes close to setting the single game rushing record at Wisconsin and rushes for 4 touchdowns. After I typed that, I went to see what the single game rushing record was. And when I saw it was 408 yards, I think Melvin Gordon set that 408 yards. I retracted my statement and I said, okay, 408's the record. He's not going to get close to that, but I still think he's going to get 250 plus and 4 touchdowns. He did have 3 touchdowns, but he only rushed for 86 yards. So I was way off. But here's the thing. It was a blowout win. And he only played basically 2 quarters. And he was actually splitting a lot of time in the first half with, Malusi? Malusi had 10 carries. Allen had 15. And then Mertz did throw for 251 yards. I was surprised by that. And Miles Burkett, true freshman, came in. He's from here in Wisconsin over by Milwaukee. He went 4 for 5, 84 yards in garbage time. So it was pretty. And then after I thought about it, it's like, you know what? It's going to be such a runaway game that Braylon Allen's only going to have 2 quarters to run. Like when you set records like that, it's full game. Like it's got to be a close game. Kind of like, and I'm going to talk about this, the game that I watched last night, which I think I watched. I was more intently watching Washington, Michigan State than I was watching Wisconsin, New Mexico State. Maybe that's because it was a little tighter of a game. And Washington, unranked, was facing number 11 Michigan State, and they were doing the trouncing. So I'll talk about that in a second, but let's get to the other 2:30 game, which was Penn State Auburn. I was interested because of Nittany Lions quarterback Sean Clifford, because I pulled some low-numbered autographs of him out of Bowman U. Sean Clifford, 14 for 19, 178 yards, and 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So he did not have a very hobby-tastic day. And what I mean by that is he didn't put up big numbers that people want to go out and buy his cards. So I'll sit on them for another week. But who I'm not sitting on is Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. He transferred to Washington from Indiana, where he was the Hoosiers quarterback. He's had some injury issues over the years, and Washington was taking on number 11 ranked Michigan State. And let's bring that up. Washington wins. And they pretty much dominated this game. The score was a little closer than what you would say a domination. 39-28 was the final score, but Washington really dominated the Spartans in this game. Michigan State, before I get into Michael Penix, Peyton Thorne is the quarterback in Michigan State. He has cards in Bowman U, and he had a pretty decent day. He only threw 1 interception, 30 for 42, 323 yards, and 3 touchdown passes for Peyton Thorne of Michigan State. But the star of the game was Washington Huskies quarterback Michael Penix Jr., who in my last hobby box that I opened yesterday afternoon, he was the last autograph I pulled, a base refractor auto, Michael Penix Jr., and he went 24 for 40, 397 yards, and 4 touchdown passes. So he was in a lot. Most of that came in the first half. So he had a great game. So those were some of the games that I was in tune to. Speaking of that last hobby box of Bowman U, the first autograph I pulled was the biggest of the case. The first autograph I pulled in my last hobby box of Bowman U football, Kenny Pickett first. It wasn't the other one because there's a first Bowman of Kenny Pickett in the set, and then there's just a regular like in action. It would be equivalent to like the rookie debut in Topps. And it was the first chrome green refractor auto of Kenny Pickett, numbered to 99. So that was the biggest hit of the box. I actually pulled, and I showed off on Twitter, 3 of my hits in that case, the of 99 green refractor auto Kenny Pickett. I also pulled a first chrome lava refractor numbered to 100 non-auto of Kenny Pickett, and then the big kahuna autograph numbered to 150 of Kenny Pickett. So it was a good case. Those 3 collectively will probably sell in the $800 to $1,000 range for those 3 cards. Possibly more, possibly less. We'll see. So it was a very good hobby case. And outside of that, there was some other stuff and I'm still sitting on a ton of my hobby case. I haven't listed too many of the hits. I'm just kind of waiting for big games. It's Bowman U for me is not a quick rip and flip. It's a product where I'm just sitting on. Now, I'm not holding for years because I do think the values will decline as some of these players get NFL cards. So I do want to flip quickly, but some of these guys won't have NFL cards for another year. So I do want to move them, especially now it's college football season. So that's my Bowman U talk and my college football talk. Let's get back to the chat real quick. Let's see. Where we at? Let's see. Cooper Rush. Jenny says I should just list everything, right? What did I sell? I probably just sold something, and I should list what was my last sale this morning on eBay. I'll talk about eBay. I didn't have a very good day yesterday on eBay. Let's see. Sold Dylan Cease. Actually, I should list more Dylan Cease. I think I've listed everything that I'm willing to sell. All the rest is Cubs stuff. Let's see. Kyle says, any NASCAR in the Goodwill Pallet? There's always frickin' NASCAR in the Goodwill Pallets. There's always NASCAR. It's like I love binders because binders is usually where there's like decent stuff. And it's like I'll pick up a binder and I open it up and it's 1991 Max or 1994 Action Packed. And it's like, oh my God. So yeah, there's always NASCAR. In fact, I think in the photo in the thumbnail, I think there's like a little box set of Richard Petty cards. Basically, what I do with the NASCARs, I don't even think I've been putting them in. It's weird. The NASCAR typically only comes in binders, although there is a box still in my car. I was bringing some stuff down yesterday and I opened a box and it was all NASCAR. It's like a box. I don't know. There's probably a couple thousand cards. It's all NASCAR. There's even some like little statue things. Always NASCAR. Always NASCAR. Rich says, due to an interesting set of circumstances, I actually watched the first half of the Notre Dame game. Same California had a quarterback named Plummer wearing number 13, and my first thought was that must be Jake's son. Let's see. And Rich adds, ahem, not so fast, my friend, in Lee Corso's voice. Just another Plummer wearing number 13. Let's see. Notre Dame finally got a win. I think they started out 0-3. Terry says, it took me 6 hours Friday to unload my car of the Goodwill pickup and transfer it to all white card boxes. That's pretty quick. It's taken me 2 weeks to bring down half of my load. And here's why. So I've run out of room. So I have to get strategic where I put my new finds. In fact, like a lot of my like bulk pickups that I get at card shows, like I bring them in here and I just have boxes stacked on boxes. But with the Goodwill, and my wife asked, she's like, why don't you just unload all of that? And I'm like, because then I'm going to lose track of it. I don't have space to put it. I've got to sort it. So everything needs its own space. And I just don't have that. I don't have a backup space right now, like a staging. I don't have a staging area. Like all spaces are filled with 3 million cards in my basement. So I don't have a staging area. So my staging area has become the back of my SUV. So I bring down a few boxes and I'll sort through it. And a lot of this, I'll just go right into my Goodwill sorting Saturday. A lot of it's junk wax and just junk. And I mentioned that in my initial video when I found all the good WNBA cards, which actually have been selling fairly well, especially those autographs. I've been moving some of the autos, which I didn't think would sell. And surprisingly, they have. And I sold like a Sue Bird for $40 and a couple other Sue Bird cards for $10 each. So the WNBA cards are going to probably alone make my money back with a little profit. But the rest, there's not much there. The commons, I'll move in bulk, and I'll probably come close to, just the cost that I put in on selling the bulk commons. And then basically that means, it's still a really good price. It's still going to be, I think my net profit on this one will probably be 3x, which is disappointing. I like 5x. But 3x is still pretty good. Where was I at? So that's what I do. So I bring it down, and I knew early on that, okay, this is going to be a lot of junk. I don't think I've had to throw many cards away, not as many as some of the previous pallets. But there's been a significant amount that I've had to throw away, but not near as much as some of the previous. So going through and I still, because you never know. And Terry was going through a bunch of cards and all of a sudden found some vintage. I had that happen. There were a lot of like the Fairfield boxes where whoever donated these at one time was probably selling team lots. These were football cards. So there's boxes and they're Lions, Tigers. Oh wait, Tigers is baseball. Lions and Bears and Packers. Oh my. And in one random box, right in the middle, there's about 25 50s and 60s football cards. They're in pretty good shape. They're not moving. Vintage football, just, man, I don't know what it is, and we're in football season, but I'm not having success moving vintage football. So there is that. So that's why I always want to go through card by card, painstakingly, card by card of 95 Fleer. What the hell were they thinking? We thought 91 Fleer was bad. Oh, 95. What the hell? So I was going through and basically the only thing I was pulling out were Cubs, and the rest is just, being bulked out. There's some random, and these were cherry, like the boxes I went through were even cherry, like there's not even any stars, like junk, like 91 Fleer didn't even have any Barry Bonds or Mark McGwire cards. It was like all commons, which goes straight to my bulk out. Like, see you later. I'm selling this in bulk. So it's been a rather disappointing. If it weren't for the WNBA cards, I'd take a bath on this one. And probably just get to break even. Low Roller says, when are you joining the ComC bandwagon to list more sports cards? I never say never, but probably never. Probably never. Never say never, but probably never. Richard Weideman says, listening live for the first time in a while. Well, welcome in. Thanks for jumping on. Actually sorting some Cubs cards for you while listening. We'll drop a DM next week to look forward to bumping up the Cub count. Thank you so much. Paul in the house. Sell the Sean Cliffords ASAP. He's not a legit NFL prospect. Neither is Penix. No, Penix went up right away last night. Penix, not only is he not a legit NFL prospect, but he's injury prone. I think he's they set a stat. We're talking about Michael Penix Jr. now at Washington. Had a great game last night, so I really want to sell. But he's never played in a season. He's never played more than 6 games in a season because of injury. Sean Clifford I'm just kind of waiting. Like, I don't want to sell now because I guess I could list high and just hope next week is a better game. Who's Penn State have next week? But I'm not going to list now because he had very average numbers yesterday. So I'll just sit on him for another week. And that's with all these Bowman U. Like, I'm moving them all before NFL cards come out. So there's still some time. Let's see. So I just want to take advantage of big games. If somebody goes off or, if Clifford throws 6 touchdowns and 500 yards, boom, sell. But 178 yards, no touchdown passes. I'm just going to sit for a week. Let's see. Zach says, when are you going to record some more scratch off videos so we can watch live and advise you on if they are fingernail scratch or to use a coin? We want to know. Jenny says, if only Bo would listen to the advice in his chat here for listing, he could maybe quit his full-time job and do cards full-time. Let's see. Where are we at? Low Roller says, I just post new video this week. Check that out. Andrew, what's up? Good morning. Go Bears. Bears Packers tonight. Go Bears. Terry says, I find that the NASCAR press pass cards are usually bricked. Cooter says, make sure to catch sports cards live tonight. Jeremy appreciates viewer interaction. Good morning, Herman. I bet Herman's a little tired this morning. Herman's got a big birthday coming up, and I know he was celebrating yesterday. Low Roller says, you can do a pick-a-set NASCAR in your eBay store. Not going to waste my time. Fall Creek says, we're going to need a bigger boat. So yeah, that was my sorting yesterday. I just didn't really find much. I'm trying to think if I found anything. It was kind of a junky, a bunch of junk in the latest Goodwill Pallet. And I think there's going to be more of the same. There are, and why I think that is a lot of the boxes are similar. It's they're in like diaper boxes, and it's all a lot of junk. There is one 5-row box that has some newer football in it. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Dan in the house, what is up? Good morning. Any insight on when you're posting your scanner? Probably, man, I don't know. I'm way behind on like everything. Like everything that I have going on right now, I'm behind. I'm behind on shipping. I'm behind on listing. I'm behind on sorting. I'm behind on the Midwest Premiere Show in October. I'm behind on next Saturday's Madison Card Show. I'm behind on my yard work. I'm like juggling several different things, so I'm behind on everything. I'm behind on pulling out my garden. So, unfortunately, I don't know. But speaking of scanners, and I'm behind on playing with my new 8170 from Fujitsu. I'm behind on that. But speaking of scanners, I will be going live with Don from Caruso. Don Caruso from Fujitsu. We will be going live on Thursday morning, and let me get that time. Thursday morning. So we're going to do another StreamYard live. So you can ask Fujitsu questions if you're having issues with like print lines, because I think somebody mentioned that in a previous chat. If you have questions on the various scanners, he will be able to address you on all of that good stuff. Let's see. So it'll be 10 a.m. Central Time this coming Thursday. 10 a.m. Central Time this coming Thursday here on my YouTube channel. We'll talk with Don Caruso from Fujitsu, and he'll be taking questions you have on scanners. And as for my old scanner, my 7030, I'm not sure when I will be putting it in my eBay store. I'm just not sure when. Let's see. And here's why. I just want to make sure my 8170s like good to go. I've only ran like 100 cards through it. I've done one batch. That's it. So I want to get a few under my belt, just, in case something doesn't break down, or, just so I have a backup. And it doesn't slow me down any more than I've been slowed down just with everything going on right now. So yeah. So probably another week, probably after next weekend, just because this week's, card show week and just yard work week and all that stuff. Low Roller has a ComC store. Herman says, I'm good, but there's definitely some struggling people around here this morning. I can imagine. So yeah. So what else is going on? I'm only 32 minutes in. This is usually I don't run out of topics to touch on this early in the show. Although it is 10:13 already. I did want to bring up eBay. I had a slow eBay day yesterday. I might have sold a hockey card. I'm not sure. But it was a slow day overall. I fell well short of my benchmark number, which I had hit. What did I say? 13 out of 15 days I had hit my number. Now it's 13 out of 16. Let me refresh the screen because I think I made a couple sales since I went live. My sales dollars are still up over the last 30 days. 10.5% in the green. I love to see that. My impressions are still down, although I've surpassed 17 million in the last 30 days, which at one point, I think in July, I was at 24 million in the last 30 days. And I think I have about 4,000 additional listings than what I had. So July was a heavily trafficked month on eBay. By far my most heavily trafficked month, not in sales, but in general traffic. Impressions isn't traffic, but it was the highest impressions, and I think highest by far in page views also. So my impressions still down 20% last 30 days. Page views are up 7%, so that's good. So my funnel still looks weird. It's still the opposite funnel. Impressions down 20%, page views up 7%, sales up almost 11%. Let's go to traffic and just see, because the last 2 weeks have been great. So let's just take a look. Let's do a custom report. Where am I at? Let's do a custom. Let's take a look at the last. Okay, so let's end it yesterday. And let's just do the month of September. Where are we at in September? Because much of the month of September has been pretty good. So my impressions in the month of September, the first 17 days of September, my impressions are actually up 6% compared to the prior 2 weeks, which was the middle of August to the end of August. So that same time period in September is up 6% impressions wise. So things are going in the right direction. Let's take a look at page views, which is interesting. Page views are actually down 26% in that same time period. Let's take a look. What is going on here? I have a bar graph that looks just really messed up. Total impressions. Why does that bar graph look so weird? Is that page views? Page views 1,300, 2,900. So my page views over the last 2 days are just way up. Wow. So my page views set from yesterday, my page views, and we're just taking a 1-day snapshot compared to August 31st, which I don't think is fair. That's just what it's showing me. Up 208%. And then Friday was up 153%, but then Thursday was only up 31%. Wednesday, and then let's say, well, maybe it's because of the weekend. Well, let's go back to last weekend. Last Saturday, up only 20%. Last Friday, only up, actually down 2.5%. That's weird. So anyway, that's enough eBay talk. Where are we at? Let's see. In the chat, Andrew had a decent day yesterday on eBay, but it's been pretty rough lately. And see, it's weird how this goes. It's like I had a crappy week, and then everybody else is like, my week was awesome. And then when I'm like, my week was awesome, everybody else had a crappy week, or the one or two people that chime in. It's crazy. Let's see. Red Light 34. What's up? New to the chat. Andrew says, thinking I need to list something every day versus going crazy for a few days, then nothing. And that's, yeah, there's been some like, and I don't know if there's any truth behind this. I haven't read into it much, but in some cases, people say be consistent on a daily basis, as opposed to just selecting Monday. And I think there is truth, because you want to be active within eBay, because when you're active within eBay, and activity means editing a listing and saving it, changing the price, sending offers, responding to messages, countering an offer or accepting an offer, along with listing. And that all helps the algorithm. So I think as long as you're consistent in just being active within eBay, I think that helps. Let's see. Cooter says, and sometimes it's like you only have time, like say my time is Friday to list, and because you don't have time Monday through Thursday and Saturday, Sunday. So that's your listing day. And so if that's how it is, I think if you have a choice, if you have the time, try it out and spread it out. But I don't think there's anything wrong with if that's the only time you can, just do it to the best of your ability. Cooter says, how's Frank's robo mower? Any improvement? It's really weird. And I don't know if all robot mowers are like this, but his is like, doesn't know what the hell it's doing. What I mean by that is I'll go outside and it's mowing like, I don't think it's been 3 days now. I don't think I've ever seen it mow like, well, the first day I did see it mow like towards the back of his backyard, but like every day I see it mowing like the side, but like between our houses, and it's like it'll go like 2 feet and then it'll stop and then it'll turn and it'll go a foot and back and it's just like really herky jerky. And then I'm like looking out. I will say the lines don't look as bad as they did the first day or two. That's improving. But it's like I looked out and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, how come it's not going in a straight line? And maybe I don't know anything about robot mowers and I really don't care to learn. It's just not for me. I've mentioned that. But all of a sudden it starts mowing in circles. And I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, look at this. It's mowing. She thinks I spend too much time watching the neighbor's backyard. I probably do. It's mowing in circles. And it kept mowing and mowing and mowing and mowing and mowing in circles. And I'm like, why is it mowing in circles? I don't know. It's just really weird. It's not my yard, so I shouldn't care as much as I don't care. It just provides me some entertainment throughout the day. Like, this robot mower is stupid. So the yard looks a little better. It still looks like, what the hell? Somebody was drunk when they mowed that yard. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. The lines that it makes looks like somebody was drunk and just not knowing how to mow a lawn. Andrew says, listen to your last podcast with Ty Wilson. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. We've done 3 videos over on Bench Clear Media, so check those videos out. Talking eBay stuff. DR says, as you approach the last quarter of the year, is there any maneuvering you are doing as it relates to taxes for 2023? Good question. No. My fiscal year, my year end is this month, is the end of September. So my fiscal year runs October 1st to September 30th. And I still haven't done my advisory call with my accountant, because what I assume what's going to happen is I'm probably going to show a loss because of my existing inventory because this is the first year of my eBay store. So I think with my existing inventory, I'm going to show a loss for tax purposes because of the money in the existing inventory that I sold off. So it's probably going to show a loss. So like I'm going to buy a new computer. So I'm probably going to wait until after October 1st to make that purchase, just because there's no sense in taking a bigger loss when I can add that to next tax year. Same with supplies. I'm going to try to hold out and not put a big order into BCW for supplies until after October 1st. Now, if you're showing a bunch of profit and you want to get that down, and it's like, I need supplies and I need a new computer, buy that stuff before the end of your tax year, so you can write that off, and that goes against your taxable income. So I don't think that's going to be a case for me, just because of the existing inventory that's scheduled into my business. But that's something I have to talk with my accountant, and he'll advise me what to do. So when it comes to next, so my year begins October 1st. I'm not making any, my business plan when I started was, I'm not making any business decisions until I get to the 1 year point. And then I'll take a look back. How did the year go? What do I need differently? And I've been able to make adjustments on the fly and, become more efficient, use different strategies throughout the year. I think the next step in building the business is hiring someone on a part-time basis for shipping, which that probably won't come about until next year, because I'm not at the point where I'm behind. I'm behind, but it's still manageable. And it's, it wouldn't be worth hiring somebody on a part-time basis from what type of volume I'm handling. I'm really not selling much more on a volume basis than what I was during the peak of the hobby boom, when I had a full-time job. And that just goes to show you how crazy it was. Now, is that saying I'm struggling financially? No. That just shows you how booming it was. And that's why I had a lot of fun during that time period, because all of that was like free money, as a side hustle. And it was a lot of fun going to card shows and buying whatever I wanted. That was great. And now there's not a full-time job to be my cushion. So you just have to be more, that's why I canceled my national trip. It's like, there's a lot of money coming in. I'm already going to be taking likely a loss because of that existing inventory. There's no sense in losing any more money and I'm not going to gain much from a inventory standpoint because of all that, which I've talked about. So my approach, once October 1st hits, I'll probably make those bigger purchases just so they go on next year's tax bill. Terry says, what's your last 5? Oh, this is a fun practice. I like doing this. It's been a while since we've done this. Let's see. eBay. I just made another sale. What did I sell? So something that just sold within the last 5 minutes, a 2022 Bowman base card, Aaron Judge, which in one of the bulk boxes I bought at the card show a couple of weeks ago, there were just a ton of them. I'm going to see how many. 4 have sold, more than 10 available. How many are available? Doesn't show me on this screen. 23. So I had 27 of them, and I have 23 left. So last 5 sold on eBay. 2022 Bowman number 2 Aaron Judge base card sold for $1.50. A 2003 Topps Heritage Paul Konerko base card sold for $1.50. 2017 Bowman Silver Parallel Dylan Cease. That one sold for $3.50. A 2021 Score base card of Aaron Rodgers. That sold for $1.50. And a 2020 Topps Archives Eduardo Escobar of the Arizona Diamondbacks. That also sold for $1.50. Let's take a look. My last junk wax era card that sold. Let's see. 1994 Studio Mike Piazza. What else is sold? I sold a 1981 O-Pee-Chee Ron Guidry for $2.50. Let's see. I'm trying to find something that stands out even more. I did make a sale yesterday, or actually I think it was a few days ago because I was shipping it out. A 1991 Topps Todd Marinovich rookie card. And I think there was a 91 Topps complete set out of the Goodwill Pallet. And I just pulled all the stars and listed them on eBay. And I think the Todd Marinovich was one of the first to sell. And I've actually, surprisingly, I've sold a lot of singles. And when I say a lot to me is like 6 from that 91 Topps football set. I sold the Emmitt Smith, Todd Marinovich, Andre Rison, I think Derek Thomas, Shannon Sharp. What else did I sell? Maybe Joe Montana. I think I've sold 5 or 6 out of that 91 Topps football set. Let's see. Andrew says, crazy you don't use bulk labels. A few people have said that, and I don't think it would be beneficial to me in how I ship. And so here's why. So right now I have, let's see. Right now I have 100 and it's not like I sit down so I have 131 items to ship right now. And it's not like I sit down and ship 131 items at a time. So I will go and I'll try to do earliest sold. So what was it's basically like first in, first out. This one sold on Friday, so I'm shipping it now. This one sold on Saturday, it goes second, Sunday goes third. So that's kind of how I roll. I don't think there's any time savings to it because printing them off one by one doesn't really take any time. It takes the same amount of time to print a label, whether I'm doing it as a single or if I'm doing it in bulk. And then you have to print like an invoice, like you have to print like, okay, this goes to this card, this goes to that card. And then I'm going through, it would be a giant mess. And I think it would take me twice as long to pick, pack, and ship using the bulk label method, just based on my setup. If it works for you, awesome. It just wouldn't work for me. It would actually take me more time to do the bulk printing. And as people that have said that, Ty mentions on the video that I think Andrew said he was watching, he has his wife do like one of the parts. Like it's me, myself, and I doing the picking and the packing and the listing and the shipping. So, I don't have, somebody, helping, assisting. So, and it's just, I don't think it would be beneficial. And I think it would actually cause more headaches for me and my setup to do in bulk. Let's see. Low Roller is auditing my eBay store. Thank you. Can you send me a spreadsheet on that? Let's see. Geno Smith is selling. Where are we at? ATX, what's up? Howdy all. Let's see. Cooter says you should list more algorithm cards as much as everyone talks about him, right? Andrew says I had one Geno Smith card and I had it on auction. 0 bids or views before the Monday Night Football game. Ended up selling for like $5. Good timing. That's awesome. Let's see. A robot snowblower could be comical. Oh my God, I can only imagine what a robot snowblower would look like. Zach says you should run over there and tell Frank, whoa, you've got to tell me if you're going to do something like this. Let's see. Andrew says to Low Roller, how do you see on ComC what is the top card selling? Let's see. He says some YouTubers show the top sellers on ComC. Matthew is in the house. What's up? You have me so excited to get back into this eBay card reselling. Can you recommend any suggestions for someone like me who can't list as many as you, other sites, etc.? Unfortunately, I can't really recommend other sites because I'm eBay centric. Like, I've never sold on ComC. I've done sport lots. I could get into that. But I really don't have much experience on other sales platforms. For me, it's eBay. And basically you've got to scale up. And here's the key to selling cards on eBay. It took me, where am I at? It's 2022. It's probably taken me 2 years to 3 years to get to the point where I've scaled up, and you can do it faster. It just, for me, it wasn't part of the plan. Like, I didn't just one day say, I want to sell cards on eBay and I want to do this on a grand scale. Now, was always something, in my head that like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have 50,000 or 100,000 cards in my eBay store? Yes, absolutely. But it was never anything I strived for, really, until I went into it full time, made the decision to go into it full time. So it's all about scaling up and taking your time and just handling everything within your own means. And I think it's kind of like, it's very similar. If you're familiar with Dave Ramsey and his financial makeover, financial daily, we ran his radio show on his the Daily Money Makeover, Financial Money Makeover, whatever it is. Dave Ramsey, the first step to financial freedom is basically paying off your debt and then building up $1,000, whatever order it is. But I think that's in eBay store, getting to 1,000 listings, and you're not going to do it in like 2 days. It's going to take you some time. And if you can list, once you get a good rhythm going, listing cards, if you're waiting for your coffee in the morning, you can list 5 or 6, 10, 12 cards as you wait for your coffee. If you're on the couch watching Netflix, I have ADD, so I'm always doing something along with watching a show on TV. I'm listing cards, and like, you'd be surprised how many cards you can list just in like random time, like waiting for your coffee to brew, or after you're eating lunch, just I'm going to list 5 cards, or sitting on the couch watching Netflix or your recliner and listing 25 cards in an hour, or whatever it might be. And then you just gradually grow, and you don't want to list 1,000 cards in one night, because then you've got to ship them all, and you may not be prepared to ship that many cards that you sell in that time period. So it's all about scaling up and just doing it at your own time, what you're comfortable with handling. But that's the best advice I can give is you're not going to get to 20,000 cards by the end of the year. You can, but I think it's more important to slowly grow, as opposed to just buying everything right now and just going full bore into it. And then, like, all of the things that have made me more efficient in my eBay selling, it's not like I just went out, bought a new computer and a new scanner and a new label printer and a new this and a new that. Like, it took time to build up to that. And Dan, I don't know if DR's still in here. Dan's kind of taking that approach, and I think that's the smartest approach to take, is get comfortable and don't just sink a couple $1,000 or $1,000 or whatever it is for all of the means to get there. Just scale up, take advantage of your free listings on eBay. Once you get to that point, run the numbers. Okay, what store subscription is best for me, and then maximize that on a monthly basis. And then start, okay, if you're listing X amount of cards in a week, it's prudent to buy a thermal label printer. And then, the next month, okay, I've got some money in the coffers. Now I'm going to take that big step and get a scanner, and go into Card Dealer Pro and get a subscription and just take it from there. So that's the best advice I can give. As far as other verticals, as far as other platforms, I can't really comment because I don't have much experience outside of Sport Lots. It's just been basically strictly eBay, and then I've dabbled in Sport Lots through the years. Matthew says, also, can you please explain your monthly goals and how you do those? So I have a volume goal set. I have a dollar goal set, and those are just set based on historical trends and then extrapolating out. So what keeps me going is I've got a spreadsheet, and this is also this motivates me as well. This is what keeps me going, because you're going to have a slow day on eBay. Everybody has a slow day on eBay. Yesterday, I had a slow day on eBay. I did not meet my daily goal, but I had met it like 13 out of 16 days. And I know that, hey, I may have a great day today, or today might suck also. I'll have a great day tomorrow. So I keep a spreadsheet, and I actually started this during COVID. I don't know where my old spreadsheet is, but this one I've been building on since November. I keep a 90-day rolling average that I use from the eBay app. So it shows your sales dollars over the last 90 days, which are gross. It shows your volume sold, shows obviously your active listings, and then you can do some math. So what I do is I on a daily basis, and I try to snapshot this at the same time each day, just to because in the mornings it's going to be lower, at night it's going to be higher. So I try to do, if I do it at night, I try to do it at the same time every night. Otherwise, it's going to kind of skew your daily snapshot through the days, weeks, and months. So I type all of this into a spreadsheet, and I have each day down, I have my net sales. That's how much after fees and postage that I bring in on a daily basis, and then I calculate that at the end of the month. And I calculate it every day, and then it has the number at the end of the month. I calculate, what's the daily average, and just try to build on that. I take that 90-day snapshot. I run the numbers on my daily sales. So my daily sales back on December 20th, I was doing 54 sales a day on December 20th. Now I'm at like 88. And it shows and then I calculate the average sales dollar. And that's your 90-day sales divided by, divided by your volume sold over that 90-day period. Then I do the daily sell through, which is basically your daily inventory turnover. And so that at the peak of the boom was 2.3%, which is just absolutely insane. And I knew that, and that's why I kept listing, because I knew that it wasn't going to sustain. I did my calculations when I went full time based on 0.7%. And I've been falling short of that just because I've been listing so much. So my daily sell-through rate now is at about 0.4%, which is below what I would like to be. And then I extrapolate that out to 50,000 listings. So what would I make on a daily basis if I had 50,000 listings, and then extrapolate that out to 365 days? And here's my annual gross sales number. And that's what pushes me, because I know once I get to 50,000, this is the money I'm going to be making. So my focus, I keep my focus away from the here and now. And it's like, okay, if I keep plugging along and I keep pushing, and you can do this on, okay, say say my daily sell-through rate's going to be, it's not going to be 0.4% because I'm going to be adding so much because of the technology that I'm using through Car Dealer Pro. So maybe it's only 0.3% or 0.25%. Here's what I'm going to be making when I hit 50,000 listings, and then 60,000. And you can I base mine on 50,000. And then once I get close to 50,000, I'll do maybe 60,000 or 75,000. And then that will push me to the next level. So that's how I handle my monthly goals, my daily goals, my yearly goals. Matthew says, I'm trying the donation tag as a little thing for eBay's algo to put me ahead of others. Thoughts on the strategy? I think that's good. I use promotions, which I'm like kind of on the fence on. But I think the donation tag is something that helps as well. ATX says, I sell so many junk wax cards and commons. I love it. I'm actually to the point where it's like, I think I talk about that too much. I should probably shut up because I'm going to create my own competition and I'm not going to sell as many junk wax commons on eBay. Dan says, while the boom was a blast, the best decision I ever made was getting connected with your show in this community because it kept me grounded, taught me how to buy book bargain boxes and stay in a lane. Absolutely. That's another point. Stay in a lane. Like, I think people that fizzle out in the hobby doing it full time do it or fizzle out because they don't have direction. They don't stick to a plan. And I think that's the biggest key. Stay in your lane. Once you get good at something, stick to it. And if you don't like it, don't do it. If you're not having fun, if you find success in your lane, but you're not having fun, you're not going to be successful. And so I can't remember. I was talking to somebody, and I mentioned that, and it's like I can tell by the sound in your voice and by the words that are coming out of your mouth, you're not going to like this, and if you don't like it, you're not going to have success. And if you don't like typing into a spreadsheet listing on eBay, if you don't like shipping cards for hours a day, it's not for you. But I love it. And I enjoy it. Yeah. Does it get tedious when I have 133 now shipments to get out? Yeah, it gets a little tedious, but you just power through. You look at those numbers, and at the end of the day, it's like, hey, this is where I'm going to be. Let's see. JR says, can I ask what level eBay store you have? Also, I'm just starting out. Any advice you can give me? I don't buy new product, but only have junk wax stuff to start with. So I have the I don't even know what they call it now. Let's type it in. It's like I think it's called premium. I think it's the $60, and I buy it for the year eBay stores. So, and I'm going to give you some advice on eBay stores. So, let's see. There's like several articles. It's kind of hard to find. Okay, let's click subscribe to eBay store. And see if we can get there from here. Okay, so I have the premium store. It's $60 a month, but I pay by the year. If you only do it 1 month at a time, you're going to pay a premium on the premium. It's going to be $75 per month without the 1-year plan. So, first off, you've got to decide, do I want to spend the extra $15 a month for the 1 year, or are you dedicated and you know that you're going to stick to it for a year and pay that $60? And I think it's billed monthly. I think I think they take out $60 a month. So it's not like you have to pay what's 60 times 12, $500. It's not like you have to pay $500 up front. I think it's billed monthly. But I think there is a termination. But I think if you cancel before the 1 year, I think they charge you. So you got to think that through. But I will tell you, do not just start with, if you don't have an eBay store, don't start at the premium level. You want to start small. There's 5 levels. There's starter, basic, premium, anchor, and enterprise. I would say skip starter. Just skip starter and go to the basic store, because you're going to get far more bang for your buck with the basic store, which if you buy it just for a 1-month trial, it's going to be $28. If you go with the yearly subscription, it's going to be $22. You get 1,000 fixed price insertions per month and 250 auctions per month. After that, you're going to pay 25 cents per fixed price and auctions. Your final value fee, I think, on sports cards is going to be I think it's the same structure as the premium, which is 12%. And I'm not sure, do you get the additional fixed 50,000 fixed price? It doesn't show here, but I know with a premium I do. I don't know if they took that away or not, but I would say start small. If you're just starting out, skip the starter store, go to the basic. That would be my recommendation. Let's see. Any advice you can give me? I don't want to buy new product. You can give me, I don't buy new product, but only have junk wax stuff to start with. I would just start with what you have. Take advantage. If you're not, first off, take advantage of all your free listings as just a non-store subscriber. And once you do that, then you can scale up from there. And just go with what you have. As far as junk wax, what I find that sells superstars, even from the junk wax, they sell as long as it's priced right. You know, you're not going to sell a Barry Bonds 91 Fleer for $5, but you might with $1.50 free shipping. And then from there, and it's all about getting your costs down. You know, sourcing your supplies, and from that point, I can't offer much advice other than make sure you know what you have, what you're paying in for supplies, what you're comfortable with, because there's going to be some upfront costs on supplies when you're starting out. That's what I like the store subscriptions. My bubble mailers, you know, I get the $50 a quarter coupon, and I buy bubble mailers, and so far that's been lasting me for the full 3 months. Although I think next quarter I may have to buy extras. So that's important, is just knowing your numbers, getting the supplies, because that stuff adds up. And especially if you're selling lower dollar items, if you're selling $1.50, $2 free shipping, but you're paying 5 cents per envelope, your margins get cut and cut and cut. So find your envelopes at Costco at 2 cents, 2.5 cents per envelope. Get your penny sleeves at 0.5 cents per penny sleeve. Try to find top loaders at a nickel, and all of that, because that's going to be, when it comes down to it, it's like, oh, it's just, I'm paying $12 for envelopes, but you really have to know your per envelope cost, your per penny sleeve cost, because when you're dealing with volume of low dollar stuff, those margins are slim, and you've got to really take advantage of discount pricing, volume pricing on supplies. Matthew says, ATX, how do you price your commons? I don't use bulk labels either. Allows me to sell the junk wax era commons. Otherwise, I don't think I would sell very many. Let's see. Matthew asks, do you offer free shipping as well? ATX. Depends on the year, usually between $1.25 and $2. Let's see. ATX is about to hit 30,000 active listings today. That is awesome. My active listings keep slipping because I've gotten behind. I'm under 21,000 active listings right now. Terry says, bulk usually takes me longer since I don't have all the cards and labels in the same order. Exactly. And that's why I'm like, I've seen a couple videos now, and it's like, there's no way this takes more time. This is going to take more time. And I can hammer out, like I said, and I'd like to know, people that do use bulk labels, I want you to, if you don't know this number already, I want you to spend an hour, 1 straight hour, no distractions, 1 hour shipping using the bulk labels. And this is picking, packing, shipping for 1 hour. And I want to know how many you get done, because I can do 56 in 1 hour. And that's pretty much the peak performance I think I can do. I might be able to hit 60 in 1 hour if I'm like really going fast. But I think right at about 1 minute. And that's finding the cards in my library. And then that's, putting them in a top loader or card saver, putting them in a piece of paper, printing the label, smacking it on, putting it in the to mail pile. 56 in 1 hour. And that's printing them on a single basis. And that's the process. That's from picking to packing it in the envelope to slapping the label on to done. DR says, let's see. ATX says, I'm missing a couple. Andrew says, so Terry, it takes longer for bulk. Andrew says, when I do bulk shipping, the screen where you click to print labels, I keep up, and the labels print out in the order as that sheet has listed. Let's see. ATX says, same one-person show here. The only way that would save any time for me is if I printed the label directly on the envelope. DR says, as someone who uses bulk shipping, I would switch using bulk shipping to be as organized as you are with shipping in a heartbeat. Ken says, I have a lot of money tied up in Geno Smith, LOL. Andrew says, Bo, I don't like variation listings, but every time I go to see if some common sell or various older cards, every time I go check sold completed listings, it's all variation listings. I've noticed that. It just takes me longer. It takes me longer. And this is kind of like with bulk. And I have my system down, my shipping process down to where I'm fast. And I think bulk slows me down. Same with variation listings. It sounds great, but in practice, it slows me down. I can list 200 singles faster than I can list 200 in a variation listing. Let's see. Andrew says some of these big sellers, they are all variation listings. ATX says, I don't like them either. Let's see. JR says the total money makeover. There you go. Dave Ramsey. Ken says, I'm not a bulk eBay lister. One thing I try to do is put in a mix of things, both that I think will move quickly and things that may sit a while. That's great advice. I also go by that. When I'm going through, I would rather list, say I'm doing a batch, box 1, tab A. I would rather list 100, and I stick to sport, so I'll do 100 baseball. I love dime boxes or quarter boxes that have just all over the place from the 70s to 2021 Bowman. And I can just take a stack of 100 and list, and because you capture a lot of different people. Whereas if you list a bunch of 1978 Topps Commons, you're going to limit your views to people building the 1978 Topps, or, hey, the random, I need this card, I need that card. So I love the random batches. That's my favorite to list. And I find the most success when I list. Yeah, I've listed sets because it's a lot faster, especially when I was only using File Exchange, because I was doing more typing in. Now that I use Card Dealer Pro, when it's accurate, all that stuff is filled in, so I don't have to worry about it. But it is checked from a spot checking standpoint, like just to make sure the AI identified it accurately. It's quicker. Let's see. Low Roller says variation listings save you free eBay listings. That is a good point. I'm not there. I'm not even halfway to my monthly allotment. I have 60,000 free listings per month, and I'm at under 21,000. So I'm only a third of the way there. Let's see. Andrew says, I think I knew that, but I have done a few and no real luck with them. Breaking news, you just sold vintage football cards in your store. Thank you. My assistant, Low Roller Scratcher, providing breaking updates of what sells out of my eBay store. Rich says, Bo knows, that had made a great commercial theme back in the day. Bo knows baseball. Bo knows football. How much my 1 hour in the dentist chair cost me. And Aspen, to her credit, did not use that money for an expensive car for her down payment, but just for a Kia. Well, good for her. Steve, what is up? Good morning to you. Try the bulk label once and see how it works out. Let's see. Carmi 2005, what is up? He's up to 64,000 listings. Sales only go up slightly more when I got to here. Let's see. Andrew says, how long have you had your store, Carmi? SD says, how's Card Dealer Pro working for you? It still has its glitches. I haven't done any uploads since I think Thursday or maybe Friday. So I have not done anything over the weekend and don't plan on listing until maybe Tuesday. Just as I try to get my head unburied from the sand. Paige and Deanie Bean, good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Fall Creek says, don't you think having a store gets you more views? It likely does. Let's see. Matthew says, when looking at bulk boxes of, say, vintage commons, what year do you look for to consider listing them each? Example, 1977 football. Basically any 70s. I'll move 70s, 77 baseball, 78 baseball. Those move. It's not like I'm moving a whole bunch, but anything 70s. Once I get into the 80s, then it's just it's going to be like more of obscure sets and even not so obscure, but just not common sets. I'm not going to list a whole bunch of 88 Topps. base cards, common cards. I guess they're all base cards, right? So that's kind of, so the sets I'm listing, Michael says, Michael R. Mentioned Topps Archives to me one time. And so I started listing Topps Archives commons, and they sell really well, Topps Archives. Let's see. Andrew says, I'm going to time myself shipping today. Let's see. Carmi 2005 says, I get 80 in 1 hour picking, packing, and shipping using bulk label printing. That's good. I don't think I could be there. I don't think I could do 80 using bulk label. Maybe I'll try it, see if I can do that. Let's see. Rich says, thank you, boss. Meeting friend for lunch at 11. So starting to walk to Market Street. Enjoyed the chat. Put a bunch of cards from 2 rows to 3200s and able to get back to work. And here's what I'm going to go back to Carmi's comment, 80 picking, packing, and shipping. And here's because I don't know. And I had a conversation. I had through private messaging with somebody recently that they tried bulk labels and it didn't work for them. Because I don't know where's the time. I don't understand where the time saving is. And I say, and I'm coming from just like I know my system. And I don't know where the time saving comes from bulk, because the actual printing of the labels takes the same amount of time. About the only thing that there's time saving is it's all on one screen. So you're not clicking back and forth, but I'm clicking back and forth as I'm pulling and sleeving and all that. So I'm basically multitasking for that second on each listing. And I see more risk involved with, okay, I packed this in the wrong envelope. And especially in the, doing 80 at a time or 100 at a time or whatever it might be. I just don't, where's the time saving come from? I just don't understand where the time saving comes from, because you're still picking. It still takes you the same amount of time if you're bulk label printing to find a card in box 2 tab J. It's not saving me any time there. It's not saving me any time putting it in a top loader and packing it in the envelope. I guess just because it's there, but then there's too much risk involved if I pull the wrong. And am I also having to print because I assume it's not printing on the label, like what card is in there. So does that have to print separate? I just don't understand where the time. And so somebody that does bulk label, where is the time saving coming from? I don't know where that time saving would come from, because most of this, the only thing that I can think of is you're printing it all at once. So you're not clicking back and forth, but I'm multitasking. So it's not like I'm spending an extra 30 seconds clicking into each item. So that's like my number one question for the bulk people. Like, where is the time saving? Let's see. Steve says, picked up a Bo Knows poster at a garage sale yesterday. If the one where he is suited up in a bunch of different sports, that is awesome. I love those old posters. That was like my prime of being a kid and being named Bo. To this day, everybody thinks it's spelled B-O when it's spelled B-E-A-U. But I had a cool nickname because of Bo Jackson. And it's funny when I'm on the phone with somebody, when I did a lot, when my last job, I was on the phone a lot. So it's like when I would introduce, hey, my name is Bo. Bill? Because Bo's not a common name. No, Bo, like Bo Jackson. I guess I could have said Bo like Bo Bridges, but that probably would go over the head of some people. Let's see. Where are we at? I think it's about 5 feet wide. Terry says, I'm using Card Dealer Pro right now. It just ID'd a 92 hoops basketball is a 2020 optic baseball. Most of them are correct though. Yeah. It's so before the issues they ran into last week, I was getting about a 70% accuracy rate, and I'm cool. Like, I'm totally like, that's great because that saves a ton of time. But now it's been like 10 to 20% accurate, and it's like I can do this on my own using file exchange. So if it lists a whole bunch of them inaccurately, that's when it really sucks. So, but I haven't done anything since I think Thursday was the last batch. I wanted to play around with the new scanner, which, by the way, if you missed it earlier, I'll be Don Caruso from Fujitsu will be on with me on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. We will be live and taking questions, so Don can answer any of your questions regarding the Fujitsu scanners. I had the 7030, which I loved. I've upgraded to the 8170, which is just like, I use the words game changer a lot, and it's another game changer. It's another level. So he can answer any questions you have about the scanners. Let's see. Fall Creek says, if you pre-sleeved, where are we at? If you pre-sleeved and card saved, won't that help you speed up? No, because it's taking the same amount of time regardless. If I pre-sleeve and card save, I'm still spending that time sleeving and saving. So that's not a time saver, because that's part of your, it's kind of like sorting. Like if you sort before or you sort after opening a box, or if you sort, that didn't make sense. If you say you open a hobby box and you're opening packs and you're sorting them as you go, or do you just open all the packs and wait till the end? It's taking the same amount of time to sort. So there's no time saving whether you do it during or after. It's taking you the same amount of time. And that's kind of like pre-sleeving and card saving. It's just, do you want to spend that time up front, or do you want to spend that time during the process? And so for me, first off, boxes are not, I use card savers, and boxes, you have to get like special boxes for card savers, and they don't fit well in these 4 and 5 row boxes. So I would be spending that time at the front end. And it's just, I can card save, like I can pull a card out and put it in a card save. Let me make sure I'm getting it so I know where to put it back. So here's a 1991 Donruss Nolan Ryan. I can put it in a card saver as the label is printing, and boom, put it in a piece of paper, put it in the envelope. So there's no time saving. Okay. So Fall Creek says, I know, but when some say they do 80 an hour and they have that pre-done, that's not apples to apples. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So if somebody's doing it 8, yeah. So I'm actually doing the sleeving and card saving as part of the process, but I am like within that 1 hour, I can multitask when I do that as well. But I get your point. Terry says, I pre-sleeved when I started, but it's a waste of supplies in time having all cards stored that way. I just sleeve now when packing. I'm exactly with you. And especially because I scan raw. What I found was I had cards sleeved, and then I would have to unsleeve them to scan, and then I would put them back in sleeves. So I was doing the same amount of work. I was doing like 3 times the amount of work. And so now, and here's like, oh my God, I can't believe you don't sleeve. Now, if it's a Kenny Pickett, let me show off my Kenny Pickett's. Now, if it's a Kenny Pickett, this is a pink. I didn't bring my hits in. So if it's a Kenny Pickett Bowman Chrome, I'll sleeve it. So these are all pre-sleeved. But if it's a 1991 Donruss, that was before I made the change. Those are typically raw. Ken says, I pre-sleeve to minimize edge and corner wear while in boxes. That's good. I'm just very cautious when I'm pulling the cards out. And they're not move. These boxes don't move. When I do move, and that's why the movers will be moving the junk boxes, but I'll be moving my inventory, because I don't want these cards banging around. It's inventory. So yeah. So those are some of my processes. Here we are, an hour and 24 minutes, and I was about ready to cut it off at 32 minutes. We've already reached NFL pregame. I'm like way behind my game, so I've got to get to shipping. Let's see, before I go, let's see if anything else sold out of the eBay store. 4 more items have sold. What's sold? 2022 Bowman U Skylar Thompson base card sold for $2. 2019 first Bowman Chrome Rylan Bannon. Where did I have that priced at? Oh, somebody got a deal, $1.50 on that card. And somebody asked about 70s cards, so I sold some 70s football cards. I think Low Roller might have said that. 1973 Topps Gary Cuozzo, St. Louis Cardinals football, sold for $1.50. And a 1978 Topps football, Sammy White. And I think that might have been the reference that somebody was making earlier in the chat, Matthew. So there you go. That's what I had for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks for a great chat. We covered a lot of bases today. I appreciate it. Wonderful chat today. If you have any questions, let me know. Carmi says, I don't pre-sleeve. I do everything from beginning to end when picking, packing, and shipping. Same here. Same here. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, thank you. Thank you for joining the chat. Typically, by the way, I go live at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central for Hobby Evolution. So back at it tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So no sleeping in for me. And then the weekends are kind of a wild card. So next weekend, there will be no show on Saturday because of the Madison Card Show, which, by the way, 125 tables at the Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., free admission, 125 tables next Saturday, Madison, Wisconsin. So I'll do a review of the Madison Card Show next Sunday. Also, check your calendars for October 15th and 16th, a big 2-day show in Loves Park, Illinois, at the Indoor Sports Center, 250 tables. October 15th and 16th, Loves Park, right next to Rockford, an hour west on I-90 from O'Hare Airport. That's going to be a lot of fun. So with that, I bid you adieu. Have a great Sunday. Go Bears.